Hello, everybody. So today we're finishing up Chapter 8, the last lesson in Chapter 8, problem solving, comparison problems with fractions. We are on page 347 of your math book. Unlock the problem. The deepest part of the Grand Canyon is about 1 1/6 miles deep. The deepest part of the ocean is located in the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. The deepest part of the ocean is almost 6 times as deep as the deepest part of the Grand Canyon. About how deep is the deepest part of the ocean? Okay, so I need to know that the Grand Canyon's deepest part is 1 1/6 miles, and I need to know the deepest part of the ocean is 6 times as deep. And my question is about how deep is the deepest part of the ocean? So what do I need to find? About how deep is the deepest part of the ocean. What information do I need to use? I need to know that the deepest part of the Grand Canyon is about 1 1/6 miles deep, and the deepest part of the ocean is about 6 times as deep. So which strategy will I use to solve this problem? Well, I can draw a diagram to solve this problem to compare the depths. And so we see the diagram here in the solve the problem. It says draw a bar model and compare the depth of the deepest part of the Grand Canyon and the deepest part of the ocean in miles. So 1 1/6, that refers to the Grand Canyon. And the deepest part of the ocean, we can say Mariana Trench, or we can just write ocean, okay, is 6 times as much. So that's each part's going to be 1 1/6 times. Okay, so we have 6, 1 1/6. So write an equation and solve. M is the deepest part of the ocean in miles. So M equals 6. We have 6 parts in that problem, times 1 1/6, because it said the ocean was 6 times as deep. So we're going to leave the 6. Write the number, the 1 1/6, the mixed number, as a fraction. Well, we know that 1 is worth 6/6 plus the 1/6. So that's 7/6. All right, so how much is 6 times 7/6? 6 times 7 is 42/6. So now write the fraction as a whole number. What is 42 divided by 6? Well, if 6 times 7 was 42, then 42 divided by 6 has got to be 7. So it's about 7 miles deep, which is really deep when you think about it. Oh. All right, try another problem. We're on page 348. Mountains are often measured by the distance they rise above sea level. Mount Washington rises more than 1 1/10 miles above sea level. Mount Everest rises about 5 times as high. About how many miles above sea level does Mount Everest rise? So this is the same question as the ocean being deeper than the Grand Canyon, except we're referring to mountains. So what do I need to find? About how many miles above sea level does Mount Everest rise? All right. What information do I need? Well, I need to know that Mount Washington is 1 1/10 miles above sea level, and that Mount Everest is 5 times as high. How will I use the information? Well, we're going to use the same model that we did in the last one. So use a diagram, draw a diagram to solve the problem. Okay, so let's review. What do I need to find? About how many miles above sea level does Mount Everest rise? Mount Washington is 1 1/10 miles above sea level. Mount Everest is 5 times as high. And we're going to draw a picture to show that. So we're going to start with Mount Washington. And we know Mount Washington is 1 1/10 miles above sea level. Mount Everest is 5 times as much. So I'm going to need 5 1 1/10. Okay, we're going to call that M or H. I guess we could go H for height. Okay, how high is it? So we're going to have the height H represent the height of Mount Everest. So we can write that down. H equals height of Mount Everest. Okay. So what is the height of Mount Everest? Well, the height is 1 1/10 times 5. Mount Everest is 5 times as tall or high above sea level than Mount Washington. So our next step, we're going to change this mixed number into a fraction greater than 1. So we still have 5 times. Okay, we know that 1 in this case is 10/10. So 10/10 plus 1/10 is 11/10. So what does H equal? 5 times 11 is 55/10. Now let's change that into a mixed number. Okay, so 55 divided by 10. I can't share the 5 10s into 10 groups equally, but I can share 55 ones equal into 10 groups 5 times. So 5 times 10 is 50 with a remainder of 5. So 5 remainder 5. So the height is 5 5/10 miles or 5 1/2 miles. So Mount Everest rises about 5 5/10 or 5 and 1/2 miles above sea level. How did drawing a diagram help you solve the problem? I could see that Mount Everest had 5 1 1/10 in it. Okay. I could see that Mount Everest had 5 sets of 1 1/10. All right. Page 349. Number 1. Komodo dragons are the heaviest lizards on Earth. A baby Komodo dragon is 1 1/4 feet long when it hatches. Its mother is 6 times as long. How long is the mother? 6 times as long. Wow. Okay. First, draw a bar model. Okay. So we're going to start with the smaller one. So we're going to say baby. And the baby is 1 1/4 feet. The mother is 6 times as much. So how many 1 1/4? 6. Okay. Now we're going to write an equation. So we could say this is well, we can call that L for the length. So L equals length of mother Komodo dragon. Okay, Komodo dragon. Write the equation. So L, the length of the Komodo dragon, equals 6 times 1 1/4. So 6 times the baby's length. Find the length of the mother Komodo dragon. Well, so we're going to change 1 1/4 to 4/4 plus 1/4. Okay, 4/4 is 1. So now we have L equals 6 times 5/4. 6 times 5 is 30. So we have 30/4. Change it back into a mixed number by dividing. 30 divided by 4. 7 times 4 is 28, leaving me 2 ones. I can't share those equally, so I have a remainder of 2. So the mother Komodo dragon is 7 2/4 feet, or 7 1/2 feet long. I see that 2 is half of 4. All right, well, what if a male Komodo dragon is 7 times as long as the baby Komodo dragon? How long is the male? How much longer is the male than the mother? Well, so if we're going to draw a picture for that one, again, we'd have the baby would be 1 1/4, and the male would be 7 times as much. So this time we're going to have 7 boxes. And in each one, they're 1 1/4. Okay, so our equation, we're going to go ahead and let L, again, represent the length of the male Komodo dragon. And so we'll have L equals 7 times 1 1/4. We're going to change the 1 1/4 into a mixed, into an improper. It is called an improper fraction, but we're turning it into a fraction greater than 1. Okay, that's how we've been presented with it. We haven't named it as an improper fraction. So 7 times 1 is 4 plus 4/4, so 5/4. So the length of the male is 35 fourths feet. Turn that into a mixed number. I can't share any 10s with the 4 groups, so I'm going to share 35 ones. 8 times 5 is 32 ones with a remainder of 3. So 8 remainder 3, or 8 and 3/4. So how long is the male? Male is 8 and 3/4 feet long. How much longer is the male than the female? Well, the male is 8 and 3/4 minus the female, which was 7 and 2/4. So 3 take away 2 is 1. So 1/4. And 8 take away 1 is 1. So 1 and 1/4 foot longer. The male is 1 and 1/4 foot longer than the mother. All right, 3. The smallest hummingbird is the bee hummingbird. It has a mass of about 1.5 grams. Rufous hummingbird's mass is 3 times the mass of the bee hummingbird. What is the mass of a rufous hummingbird? Okay, so we'll have, I'm going to call this bee hummingbird, and the other one will be the rufous hummingbird. The bee hummingbird is 1.5 grams, and the rufous is 3 times as much. So our equation, I can call W to be Rufus's weight. So W equals 3 times 1.5. We're going to change 1.5 into a fraction that's greater than 1. So how many parts are in this 1? 2 halves plus 1/2. So we have 3 times 3 halves, which is 9 halves. 9 divided by 2, I can put 4 into each group with a remainder of 1. So 4 and 1/2. What is the mass? It's 4 and 1/2 grams. Okay. Number 4. Flo needs 3/4 hour to drive to her grandmother's house. It takes her 5 times as long to drive to her cousin's house. How long does it take to drive to her cousin's house? Okay, again, we can draw a picture for this. We can say grandma, 3/4, and cousin, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can call that D for distance. So D equals 5 times 3/4. Well, 5 times 3/4 is 15/4. What is 15 divided by 4? Because we have to turn it back into a mixed number. 4 times 3 is 12, with a leftover 3 ones. So 3 and 3/4 takes 3 and 3/4 hours to drive to the cousin's house. Okay, page 330. Use the table for numbers 5 and 6. Okay, so let's look at our table, make sure we understand what the table is trying to tell us. So we have a heading called flower, and so these are 4 different types of flowers, and these are the height of the different flowers. Okay, so I see that the smallest flower here listed is the tulip, and the largest flower is the sunflower. All right. So Peyton has a variety of flowers in her garden. The table shows the average heights of the flowers. Okay. What is the difference between the height of the tallest flower and the height of the shortest flower? Okay. So the tulip is the shortest, and the tallest is the sunflower. So 7 3/4 take away 1 1/4. It wants to know what is the difference between the tallest and the shortest. Okay, difference is subtract. 3 take away 1 is 2, so 2/4. So 6 2/4 feet, or 6 1/2 feet is the difference. Okay, remember half of 4 is 2, so it's simplified would be 6 1/2. Number 6, Peyton says her average sunflower is 7 times the height of her average tulip. Do you agree or disagree with her statement, and explain your reasoning? Okay, so tulip. I'm going to write T for tulip and S for sunflower. The tulip is 1 1/4 feet. The sunflower, she's saying, is 7 times. Okay, her claim is that it's 7 times as much. So if that's true, we can draw a model to show that. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and every one of them is 1 1/4. We'll call this H, the height. Let H equal the height of the sunflower. So H equals 7 times 1 1/4. Well, what is 1 1/4 as a fraction greater than 1? Well, in the 1, there's 4 and 4 parts. 4 and 4. 4 out of 4 parts to equal 1, plus the leftover 1/4. So that's 5/4. So 7 times 5/4 gives me 35/4. Turn that back into a mixed number. How many 4s can I divide into 35? 8, with a remainder of 3. So a remainder 3, or 8 3/4. So now back to our question. Peyton says the average sunflower is 7 times the height. I guess I would disagree. 7 times 1 1/4 equals 8 3/4, which is more than 7 3/4 feet. Okay, so remember that the height of the flower is 7 3/4 feet. She said that it was 7 times. Well, if I multiply 7 times 1 1/4, I'd get 8 3/4. So I'm actually more than 7 3/4 feet. So it's more than 7 times. Number 7, Miguel ran 1 3/10 miles on Monday. On Friday, he ran 3 times as far. How much farther did Miguel run on Friday than he did on Monday? All right, so we can, again, draw a diagram. Monday, 1 3/10. Friday, he did 3 times as much. So 1, 2, 3. We can just call that miles. So how far did he run on Friday? Miles equals 3 times 1 3/10. So 3 times, in every one hole in this problem is 10/10 plus the leftover 3/10. So we get 13/10. So what's 3 times 13? Well, we know how to do this. 3 times 3 ones is 9 ones, and 3 times 10 is 30, so 39. So 39/10. So how many tens can be shared with 39? 3, with a remainder of 9. So 3 9/10. Friday, 3 9/10. Monday, 1 3/10. So the difference, how much farther we need to subtract. So 3 9/10 take away 1 3/10. 9 take away 3 is 6/10. 3 take away 1 is 2. So 2 6/10. I know that 2 and 6 are both even. So I know I can divide them both by 2. So 2 6/10 or 2 3/5 miles further. Number 8. The table shows the lengths of different types of turtles at a zoo. All right. So we have 3 different turtles. These are the type of turtles and their lengths. Okay, so for 8A through 8D, select true or false for each statement. Daisy is 4 times as long as Tuck. Daisy is 4 times. Well, we can use common sense on that one. So Daisy is 3 feet. Tuck is 1 1/6. So if I just multiplied 1 times 4, I'd get 4 feet. So Daisy's not that long, so false. Okay. Lolly is 5 times as long as Tuck. Well, that's possible. Okay, so let's see. 5 times 1. Okay, so we're going to split this up. 5 times 1 plus 5 times 1/6. Okay, remember, we can break apart the fraction just like we do any other multiplication problem. So 5 times 1 is 5 plus 5/6. 5 5/6. That's what Lolly is. So yes. Daisy is 3 times as long as Tuck. 3 times as long as Tuck. So let's do that. 3 times 1 plus 3 times 1/6. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3/6. Well, what's half of 6? 3. So 3 1/2. So that one's also true. Lolly is 2 times as long as Daisy. Well, what's 3 times 2? That's 6. The leatherback turtle is not 6 feet tall, 6 feet long. So that's false. Okay. If Daisy is 3, if we just took the half off and we just said, well, Daisy's only 3 feet long. Well, if Lolly was twice as long as that, then what's 2 times 3? 6 feet. And she's not. She's less than 6 feet. So that's false. Okay, so we have covered all the lessons in Chapter 8. We will review our Chapter 8 for the test in our next lessons. So until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.